A pleasure to meet y'all at last. Well, here we are, at it yet again. Pretty much a whole year summary. It almost acts like some sort of montage, based on what I've already encountered. But I will say this for sure. Since these are, in fact, the last few hours of the last day of this whole decade, I just gotta say, real quick, it actually will seem kind of sad to see such a huge decade like this suddenly vanish into history. It'll all of a sudden be burned into our memories as being quite a memorable part of our time. But I will say this. Here on December 31st, 2019, to pretty much recap a lot of the biggest things that ever occurred throughout the 2010s, of course, there were tons of things going around. Fountains of Wayne released their final studio album in 2011. Smash Mouth pretty much released their last single by 2015. And as for All American Rejects, well, they did some things. They made a full studio album in 2012 as well. And they also released a few other singles and EPs here and there. But I guess aside from, well, music turning up into, well, a crap fest based on sound quality getting pretty lame compared to how it was 20 years ago, there's been a lot of other positive influences on our lifestyle today. For one, such people out there like Insider, they were able to really talk about lifetime in the modern day era. Here in the 2010s, Insider themselves, they were really looking to impress all of us with the different types of inventions and clever ways of simply living through life, places to go to vacation, or likewise. There's been hundreds of things we were able to uncover with the help of Insider. And who could forget? To talk about Insider, I'd also like to talk about the many, many tips that I learned from lifestyle experts like Brittany Levine. I gotta say, a way to make a BLT, a way to clean a blender, a way to eat an apple properly without missing a single piece of apple meat, it's just amazing. Everything itself turned out for the better. But this is just from a certain perspective that we usually see from some forms of media. Honestly though, the way the 2010s truly turned out though, there were enormous levels of negativity. It just goes to show that apparently from 2015 to today, we had gotten so many crimes taking place. Lots of political related debate have also begun to really flourish throughout our lifestyle. It does seem to think that we are in fact going to be in a series of roadblocks because after all, the next presidential election will come next November, only 11 months from now. And a new president will be named. Or could it be the same? I guess there's only one way to find out, but of course, aside from political debate, alongside from, well, lifestyle evolution that has really begun to skyrocket, aside from the kind of music we were able to find, despite the continuous horrid sound quality that we keep getting, even to this very day, I will say, lots of good things have really started to come around. I could tell you for sure that my channel, for one, has really began to, well, it began to grow significantly. Especially when it comes to, well, positive levels of comments and the like. People were really starting to have a positive impact on my lifestyle. And I could say that today, it really means a lot to me. That even at this point in time, considering the fact that we're going to have a lot of mainstream creators out there leaving the platform itself, Of course, the 2010s were really well known for having YouTube in just about everyone's life But the fact is that now, here in 2019 and beyond, we are in fact going to expect a lot of huge changes to come that are going to force a lot of creators to just start quitting. But to be fair, lots of people quit the platform even before all of these problems began to uprise. The adpocalypse of February 2018, the many things relating to the Fortnite fandom, and who could ever forget about the fact that lots of creators out there, we aren't really getting to know a lot more about them simply because of, well, YouTube's new AI system is in fact just putting out random things around instead of recommending certain channels to everyone out there. But I will say this though. Regardless of what happens to the platform itself, I simply do this as a way of showcasing my kind of creativity. Kaiju Force Neo will definitely become a name in business. It'll become a name across the board with many things in our lifestyle. I'm sincerely hoping that the name itself carries on throughout the 2020s, the 2030s, the 2040s, and even beyond that. I'm hoping it carries on for a really long time, probably even after I'm dead. But of course, the main thing here is that starting off tomorrow, January 1st, 2020, a fresh new start. And maybe some people might think twice about leaving the platform itself, but of course, YouTube, of course, will have a lot to work with based on the FTC and the COPPA-related regulations that are in fact beginning to take effect. I've already disclosed the information, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have also begun to do the same thing because of the fact that apparently the COPPA regulations that YouTube will in fact input from now on, they're not in fact going to impact anyone's channels, regardless of what kind of content they make. If they make content that is geared towards children, of course that's the type of thing that people would want to avoid, because otherwise their monetization efforts will become altered, pretty much to a point in which they may not get paid, but rather advertisers around might end up getting paid themselves just to put ads on the videos that the creators out there are doing. And I will admit, there were plenty of videos of mine that I sincerely wanted to disregard to people out there that, of course, if you're still a child or minor in general, Hot Wheels Hilarity and Nerf Secrets Revealed, they might still be the places for you, but anywhere else, because in gaming with Kaiju Force Neo, it's kind of an unpredictable way. It could just simply be rated as from E for everyone to M for mature. And as with Nerf Secrets Revealed or Hot Wheels Hilarity, they're pretty much rated as something comparable to, well, someone who's like 10 years old or up to 14, I'd say. But I guess the real point that I'm making here is that to recap throughout this entire year, this entire decade, we may have lost a lot of creators and a lot of people out there. We may have lost people out there on YouTube, including Fred, including Miss Oliver and Blossom, which the creator of that channel is now known as The Wilstonator. We may have lost the relationship between Jesse and Gina in BF versus GF, otherwise known as Prank versus Prank. We are going to lose a few others too along the way. McJuggernaut is going to quit tomorrow, or I guess it depends on what will truly happen onwards, but I guess the real thing here is that starting tomorrow, a fresh new start, it should guarantee me the kind of ways that I would normally expect other things to happen along the way that have happened here. But of course tomorrow will come with a lot of new opportunities and a lot of new possibilities, and, well, likelihoods will also begin to unfold. Anytime that I simply have a new opportunity that lies ahead, I will be sure to try to look into it. And if it does seem to hold up pretty well on my own expectations, I do hope to put it to the best of my own abilities. So of course, every single one of my franchises, they are definitely going to be continuing from here on out. Though I won't say that every single franchise of mine is indeed going to continue for the rest of my time here on the platform. But of course, as with the last vlog that I had recorded, I'm just simply going to cut my losses based on the fact that I had lost a Twitter account, and that some other sad news is that I'm also going to be suffering from yet another big loss in my life. It'll be about Samson the Pug. Yes, I'm finally bringing back Samson the Pug into the picture because, after all, I had already disclosed this past January, which is not even a whole year ago. It's pretty darn close, though, already. I had announced that Samson had been suffering from type 2 diabetes, and all this time, we had just been delaying the inevitable. And of course, that does kind of remind me that I was just about to make the Thanos snap right there. Avengers Endgame had beat Avatar by $500 million in the box office, making Endgame the highest grossing film ever in history. That right there is a film. Anything like that can also be a film. Citizen Kane, Titanic, Avatar was also pretty darn good, but its gross was trumped by Endgame's huge success. Mostly due to the fact that the MCU was already an extremely vast array of fanship and dedication by millions of people in America and throughout the rest of the world. But I suppose anything else can turn out from here. I've already explained a lot here, but I'm willing to find out exactly what could happen tomorrow and onwards. And so, I'll just leave you all with this. Have a happy new year. Have a happy new decade. This coming midnight, it'll be the final moments I have with this whole decade here. All of us here throughout the world, let's see what the 2020s will bring for us. Starting tomorrow. This is Jay Nowak, also known as Kaiju Force Neo. If you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side for the last time this whole decade. Until tomorrow morning, January 1st.